I touch you. So will you say, will you say, will you say? Pretty girl, will you come my way? Now you do, what you do, what you do? I must get through. Girl, roll up now, you show me that wine. Turn around, girl, don't be shy. Hello, 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 hello. Yeah. So girl, I love how the way you blow my mind. Hold me tight and bring down wine. Hello, 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 hello. Lord, hey. Are you ready? Are you ready for it? Are you ready? Are you ready for it? You want give me that? No hold back. Wind it up, right there. Front to the back. No long chat. Just come to me. I'll give you that sweet type of love. Sweet type of love. Come give me that sweet type of love. Real type of love. Hold me, darling. Cause whole night we jamming. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Say she sweet like a mango. She play the thing like a banjo. Them other girl them don't know how she clap the thing like a go-go. Lad. So will you say, will you say, will you say? Sexy girl, will you come my way? Now you do, what you do, what you do? I must get through. Girl, roll up now, you show me that wine. Turn around, girl.
Hello, hello, hello. Good Saturday afternoon. You're here with Hey Love Hello. And we're coming to you with Vegas Hype Media, broadcasting live from Las Vegas this
What
evening.
up?
I am your co-host, the Pampered One, and I have another co-host here with me, the lovely Miss Empress.
What up,
We're hanging out.
everybody?
We're hanging out a little bit. We're waiting for Miss E-Class to join us.
Yes,
So we're just bringing it in this evening.
I know.
Kind of warm tonight.
It is a little warm. It's all the lights and stuff. Well, maybe, right.
So you
But it's about to
say
get a little warm, especially with a conversation, depending on how it goes, which direction
maybe
it goes.
that's true. Maybe that's what it was. I was getting ready for all that
Just
sensual
get a little
talk we're having
warm and
tonight, getting warm
just
in the
getting hot
building.
and ready and just woo, because this is the month of love
Yes,
for
it
many of
is.
you, because of course, as you know, next weekend is Valentine's Day weekend.
Yes.
Valentine falls on a Sunday. Ain't that weird? What if you saved, sanctified, and filled, and then Valentine's Day is here, and then you got to get it in.
But I have
But
my thing about that is I feel like, how did the little Christians get here? That's my first
because it's a
question.
whole bunch of sexy Christians. That's
Right, right. So, but with it starting on with Valentine's being on Sunday, you can get it
Yes.
started on Saturday and take it
Into
into, see how
Sunday,
that works?
and then
You
get a
get 2
little bit
days
more, especially for some
yeah.
of you that don't have to work that following Monday because it is a holiday.
Right, right.
Not for everybody, but for some.
I'm
And
in
so you could get
logistics,
it
so it's
in just
not.
a couple more times up until Monday. So, okay. But, just like we were talking last week, just to kind of recap a little bit
Right,
about
right.
St. Valentine's, the whole massacre and what it really stood for. We had mentioned, about Saint Valentine's, the actual person,
Right.
and the conqueror. Did we ever talk about who the
Did we
ruler,
say his
the king?
name?
I don't think we did. But anyway, basically, it, like you had mentioned, it was part of it was that the king or the emperor, where you want to say, he didn't want his soldiers.
Right. He was like, if they're married, they'll be getting it in and they won't
Right.
fight and
They
spear
won't.
chuck, so no marriages.
Yeah, but it's kind of like sports, though, if you think about it,
Right, right.
because
I've heard that before.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah, a lot of coaches, I don't know how they do now, but back in the day, when I used to play, or just knew people
Right.
that played, or guys that played, yeah, their coaches didn't play that. There was no girls
They
before
had
the big day
curfew
of
and
the game.
everything.
Okay,
Right,
and it's
right.
just like but I mean, it makes you wonder though, like, why not release the stress? I mean, do they?
Maybe they
Does sex
need that
make you really
tension
lose your mind and not concentrate and think? I mean,
for
especially
some
if it
people.
was mind blowing, I would be energetic after I get me a little
Right, but
something.
think about it. You get some in the morning and you go to work. What do you think about all day at work?
Well, yeah, sex
Yeah,
is
put
on
it
my
on me last night, and girl, I don't know what
mind.
happened when
But
you're trying to
but what
work.
if the girl says, if y'all win tonight, I'll give you some more extra special treatment? It's still gonna be on your mind in a way, or you think he might concentrate on the game? If I
I
was a
don't
dude,
know.
I concentrate on the game. I'd be like, man, I better win. I better get these layups, these 3 pointers,
3-pointers, right, right.
okay, all that stuff, And I say that because I play basketball, y'all, and I love basketball.
I was in the band, so
right.
I didn't have any issues.
I was
I
a
was
band
good.
geek too. I was a
Yeah.
band geek too, and then I played sports and everything. So I was kind of tomboyish growing up
Right.
and everything until I met the person that I met, and then he turned me into the girly
The
girl.
girly girl.
Yeah, I mean, I was already a girly girl, but like I said, I was a tomboy
The
and all that other
diva.
stuff. And speaking of sports, being that the Super Bowl is tomorrow,
Right.
okay, I don't know who y'all going for. It's gonna be Sea of Red everywhere. It's gonna be Kansas City and Tampa Bay. I don't know. I mean, so imagine that. I mean, this is Florida. Everybody in Florida right now. Florida. Don't stop, pop that booty. And that. It's gonna be going down. Everybody gonna be in the strip clubs, on the beach somewhere. Seeing all kinds of bucket nakeds and everything like that. So you
I
mean
don't
to
know
tell me
about
none
that
of
one.
the
I'm a 49er fan, so
oh well,
I'm not even tuned in.
but so
I'm
you're not
upset.
gonna watch it
No,
just
I'm
because
no.
I mean, not even knowing that a certain I ain't gonna call him old because he's in his 40s, but
Please don't.
sports wise he's old, but he might. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes his way, being the fact that if he wins this, he can finally come out of retirement because he ended up bringing up that team or whatever. But the point I was trying to make was, like I said, it's in Florida, Florida beaches, swimsuits,
That's
bucket
why.
naked.
That's exactly
you
why.
know-
I agree now with the coach
What?
because they need to keep all that in for the game.
Right, well,
Mine will be all over the place.
it would be all over the
It
place.
would.
Oh, please.
Well, that's kind of like what we were saying about the Warriors going into St. Valentine. There was a romantic, and we spoke about that last week. I'm such a hopeless romantic, but he was like marrying people, secretly,
right.
and they found out about it
Mm-hmm.
and put him in jail, and he was sentenced to death.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't even research it. I should have, but they were saying one of the like different excerpts says that he fell in love with the jailer's daughter. That's what
Right.
they say.
That's
But
the part
at
I
one point
remember.
they say like that he cured her from blindness. I don't know about all that.
I don't know about.
Yeah,
I
but
didn't read all of that.
they were
but-
in love, and he got the death penalty sentence, and it
Mhm.
all occurred on the 14th. So that's why we have romantic Valentine's Day.
Right. Well, interesting thing about that is that it was they say the 14th, but then some say Valentine's Day was actually the 15th.
15th. Right.
And so it's just like, well, which day? So
Maybe
like
it
I s-
happened at like right at midnight. So it was like
in between
11:59. Yeah.
in between
He wrote the letter
like
on the
border, like you don't know
14th
which
and-
one to go to
Right.
and all that stuff. I understand
do
that. Right.
That's
and
like
but-
this weekend. We'll have the 13th and the
And the
14th, and that's how
and
we'll
the
do it.
15th. Ended on the 15th. Okay. A lot of y'all going,
I work on the 15th, so
do you? I
Yeah.
don't, thank God.
yes.
Yes. Shout out to the school teachers out there that may be getting it in. And because this has been a stressful year, this pandemic. So, hey, I ain't mad at y'all. If y'all want to do that, go ahead. You know
So
what I'm
you're
saying?
having your Valentine parties on the 13th. Not the 13th, the 12th.
No, I'm not having anything. Like I said before, like strange thing about it, my daughter's birthday falls, kind of right after that time. So I'm going to be, celebrating with her.
Okay.
But not to say, if you want to send gifts or, secret admirers or just becauses or whatever, I'm all game for it. So, hey, send it my way. I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? And little lingering and shit. Oh, speaking of which,
Okay.
okay, can we talk about that?
All right.
Well, remember how we presented the question, or how you want to put it, about what if, especially with the holiday, I'm sure it's a lot of single people out there, and the funny thing about it, there's a lot of people that really don't like Valentine's Day,
right.
but say if they get surprised by somebody, well, male to female, females, what if you get surprised by a guy that buys you lingerie, or buys you or the shoes, to match with
The
it,
sexy high
right?
heels.
And he plans like just a whole night with you. What are you going to do? Are you going to turn it down? I mean, because the so-called joke out there is that we love food. The best way to get to our heart is food. It used to be the man. It used to be a man. The way to a man's heart was food, but now they're saying that it's female. So it's just like, okay. So
Well, I want to take it a little bit deeper. I want to pose that to the men as well, because they have manties. Not just they have the little.
Man, what is that, man?
It's like a
panties?
yes. It's like
The
a well, you
hell?
know the one that has like the elephant trunk.
Oh,
So you know it's more than that. It's
what is this? A grown size Garanimals underwear? What the hell?
well, they're like okay. I don't, I
I'm
don't
just
know
saying
about the
'cause you
lace
said
part.
the elephant trunk, and you know what I'm saying. What they go have a
Well,
cheetah
no,
on
it
the front
has
of it too, and okay, go. Sorry.
that's for that's for the privates go down into the elephant trunk.
Exactly.
Okay, but it's not those. I've seen those. Those are like novelty. And then they
Mhm.
have the little heart ones for Valentine's Day. But they also have a manty. So
Lord,
it's like
today.
it's like a sexy man panty underwear, sexy lingerie. So I was posing the I was posing the question like
You see my
for
face,
men
right?
as
Like,
well. Would
what if a
you
woman buys you a
a
manty?
manty?
Oh Lord, can you
Would you
imagine
wear it?
saying that, y'all? I'm wearing a manty.
Well, he wouldn't have to wear it long. Women don't wear the lingerie long, I don't think. I would wear it. I would think that's like an
I would
amazing
wear it long,
romantic.
depending on how it looks. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of lingerie styles can go with jeans, with a pair of jeans and some heels, with a nice blazer. Just depending on
No,
how
I'm
you dress it up.
thinking
Oh, you talking
okay.
about where the
Yeah, you
the
just took all
circles are cut out and you got the string in
and
the
the
front and
pasties and
yes,
yeah.
and that long ass dental floss going up your ass crack.
Yes.
Is that No, we can't have all of that right now. No, I
But
can't.
I mean but if why not?
I ain't gonna lie, y'all. Look, I wear thongs. I've worn them and everything, but it's just ooh, it's uncomfortable for me.
I think
I'd
well,
rather you be bare, and I've done that before. Not wear
okay,
anything under a
depending on
dress.
what you're wearing too
Yeah,
sometimes. Yeah,
and all
yeah.
the other stuff, and I've even worn leggings. Without
But I think
because I wanted to breathe.
I think if your significant other buys it for you and I think it's I don't want to say a sexual gesture, but he's probably leaning more toward an intimate night at home versus, you know, wearing it with a blazer, ma'am.
Well, I mean, like
No,
afterwards. You know
I
what
will
I'm
not
saying?
let
Like
you do
after,
that.
why? Because it might get ripped off or cut up or something.
Well, no,
If
I
that's
mean,
what the intentions were, then no, I wouldn't wear it with some jeans and a blazer. Because if it's meant for one time, then hey, let's make use of it.
okay,
Rip it here, rip
okay,
it there. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Down there, like peekaboo. So
Okay, so that kind of leads me in the idea of like we speak about this and that's one thing like your sex communication.
Mhm.
So sometimes maybe if you have had that conversation of like your likes and your dislikes, like for example you were saying, oh yeah, I'd wear it and I throw on a blazer and it would be a good time, and my mind was like bedroom, let's take it off in 5 minutes.
Mhm.
So do you think it's important to like have that conversation, that sex communication about not just gifts, but just like you're in the bedroom,
Your
your
boudoir.
boudoir.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I think that's very important because I mean, that's how you tend to know your partner's likes and dislikes, and then you both come together to learn what you both may like
Right, right,
and what you're
right.
willing to do. Like, I know well, I mean, of course, like there are many couples out there that will probably want to take the chance, especially men, but a lot of women nowadays,
Mhm.
the question will come about, you know, would you bring somebody else in the bedroom or
Right,
and
right.
everything like that. Some may understand their thought of it as far as their partner or whatever, but then it's like, if you say yay or nay, at least you'll know.
Right.
Because
Because
some
you don't
will.
want him to just show up like, oh baby, look, I
No,
got
right, hey,
Bambi.
right,
Let's get it popping.
no, even though he might like Bambi, you gonna be like, oh, for real,
Wait a
you know what I'm
minute, what am I not
saying?
doing that
Right,
makes you
but
bring
then
Bambi?
so
Right.
you bring Bambi, but then the next week, you bring in Hercules, and he gonna be like,
Oh, it's a whole
hell no,
problem. That's a whole
right?
different.
It's a whole nother
Yes.
situation. So yeah, you got to have that type of communication and everything, because like I said, you learn each other's likes and dislikes and everything, and hello, hey, get it, go. I know
That was a sign to let you guys know
that E-Class is
is in the building. She wanted to make an entrance and all that.
I know, right?
All right,
that
all
she's up
right.
in here just,
I was trying to creep.
No.
creep. Hey,
We might
that's
have
it,
to
that's
get to
it,
that.
Get into that. So this was Valentine's,
Right.
you know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
I
A creep. Hey, yeah. Just keep it
Once
on
again,
the
you see
down.
what I have to put up with in this building.
But I
was
mean,
trying to creep.
Right,
up
but
in
that's the idea of communication. So when I was thinking about it, and I was kind of like thinking about things of our show, because I'm a very
here.
like I like to communicate. I think that. So I was
She
thinking
does.
about what about the people who don't?
She loves.
Do you think they should know the effects that not communicating? Because all of that communication, you can talk. There are people that talk. Oh, honey, let's talk about it. But then when it comes to the, as you say, boudoir,
Mhm.
the men, they don't want to have these conversations. They're uncomfortable, or the women are uncomfortable, and I think that may lead to that will flow over into your intimacy. That flows over into your sex, because you're not communicating. So you're not saying when you're not satisfied. You're not saying when you are satisfied.
Right, because it can lead into infidelity, and a lot of
Absolutely,
people,
absolutely.
I know, I want you to do that. Peace,
Right,
sign.
right.
But no, but you need to know that, like, fortunately for me, I mean, well, except for one that I can think of right now, but many those in the past,
Right.
I'll just put it that way.
Hmm.
We didn't have like that issue of communicating and talking with each other and all this other stuff, especially during the action of, because, and that's another thing, I like that, there are people out there that may like that too, but, talk to me.
You mean
I mean,
like
don't have
to
a
the
whole
left a little bit,
conversation
to the
you know.
left, or
Mhm.
like, okay, wait a minute, stop. Direction flag.
No, like if I do something, they be like, ooh, and they be like that, stay right there. You know what I'm saying? I like
Okay.
that type of talk.
Okay.
I don't want a whole conversation like, girl, your hair sure do look pretty. Why you doing that thing to me and all that other stuff, No, shut up. Talk dirty to me. That's the, pretty much, the
Okay.
topic situation.
I
Talk
gotcha.
nice to me, but I like nicey, nice and naughty, you know what I'm
Okay.
saying? So, but no, that's the type of talking I'm talking about. Just don't have no whole conversation.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because I do it with guys. Like, I'll be like, woo, don't stop. Right
Hold
there.
on.
Keep that going. Woo woo. You know what I'm saying? That's what so it's like that type of communication plus,
Do
more
you
so.
say woohoo?
Huh?
Do you-
Woohoo?
Do you say woohoo?
Girl, I'm
Is that what that
depending
was?
on
Was that a
how
woo?
good
Probably.
it is and what's going on and how I feel like, girl.
She said
I done-
woohoo.
I can't say
I did a
woohoo.
whole jungle call,
It's hot in here, y'all.
like, oh, you know what I'm saying? I didn't, girl, it all depends on how I'm feeling at the time.
Right.
So,
See, for me, I can't say woohoo because I think woohoos and zoom zooms. But
what
you know,
the
you
hell
can.
is that? I meant to ask you that.
A woohoo and a zoom zoom.
A
Oh,
woohoo and a
woohoo
zoom
and
zoom. That's
zoom.
snacks.
You done said that like I don't know how many times ever since we started.
One
and
of
it's
my
just like,
favorite
what the
words.
hell is this? Snack. What
Yes.
kind of snacks? Coochie snacks, dick snacks, booty snacks. What is that?
Okay.
Come on.
Usually it's like, woohoo, just whatever. Ooh, nachos. Woohoo. That's good.
Snacks.
But on this,
Anything
once
edible.
again, what I deal with
That's what I'm saying.
with
What
these
part of the
ladies
body
that I
are we
love so
talking
dearly.
about?
But in the idea of like a sexual woohoo, there's like, there's you
What-
can say woohoo. Okay. I'll take
Can you
woohoo.
go into? I like details. I need to know.
Well,
if
I
it's
understand
dirty,
the whole
what's the-
aspect
what-
of details, but
What are you doing? Licking off foot fungus? I mean, I need to know. What is
Licking
it?
our foot fungus.
That
what's
would
the
not
woohoo
be a
and the zoom
woohoo.
zoom? That's what I'm saying. And it's not a woohoo for some. It may be no. Like, and I say that just to be funny because I want details. But you be surprised at people's fetishes. Did y'all see that video of that man looking at chick's armpit?
No.
Oh my
oh,
God.
that's an erogenous zone. But that's
I
way
ain't
ahead.
hit nobody
Because we're doing a
armpit.
Valentine. But yeah, that's an erogenous zone though. And that's what I mean. Like the
So is that
communication
what the woohoo
part.
is?
No,
Okay.
that's not.
I
That's
would
not a
hope-
woohoo and
I
a
would
zoom zoom
hope
for
you're
me.
not out here licking pits.
But some people do. It's that area
Licking
right
pits.
there.
She gonna be
That
like, baby,
little-
you know I like it fresh out the shower. Bring it here. Bring me that.
Communication.
I'm gonna talk to you
Communication.
ladies about erogenous zones. Not tonight, but
Bring me
we're
that
gonna
pit.
have that.
Bring me that pit.
Okay,
Bring
they have
me
jokes
that
tonight,
pit.
but remember this moment when I bring out the erogenous zones. Also,
you know I like it with Dove. So
under the
bring
knee,
me
you know
that
what?
Okay.
pit.
That Bath and Body Works.
But underneath the
that
knee
Victoria's
too.
Secretions flavor.
Absolutely.
No, you said Dove, right?
Mhm.
I'm just naming all the other ones. You know.
I said does.
Yeah. I
But
said,
you know, she go where she go.
Okay, so we would communicate.
right. But
We
I
were
still
talking
want to
communication.
know
We will
what
communicate the
woohoo and
dove.
the zoom zooms.
The woohoo and a zoom zoom can be whatever you want it to be.
Yes. In the bedroom, it can be a woohoo
Can
and
I
a
get
zoom
details?
zoom.
I
It
mean,
can
this-
be whatever you.
you
She
will, but-
refers to woohoos and zoom zooms as snacks originally.
Yes, but it can be.
So it could be whatever
in the
you want it to be.
bedroom.
When you
if I'm
say snacks, what do
snacking-
you mean? Like
Whatever
chocolate
you
syrup
desire.
and gummies
No,
and shit?
like chips,
You know?
nachos,
Yes.
tacos.
Like when I call.
But
when I
okay, so
call
the
E-class,
woohoo leads
let's
you
say-
to the zoom zoom. I mean,
No,
like,
not
okay.
always. It can, but I'm saying for my woohoo and zoom zoom, in the
And her
my
hoo-ha.
normal.
It sounds like body parts and stuff when you say it. It just kind of
That's-
sounds
No,
like
it does.
a sexual.
but
you know,
mine is a kulala.
Ooh,
that's like when people talk to their kids and be like, "Don't let them
Coo-la-la-la.
boys touch your woohoo."
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
My old fashioned
Don't let
southern
them
mother
put the zoom
called
zoom
it
on you.
a poop happy.
Poop
The
happy.
poop happy.
yes.
See all these damn names.
Wait, what's
What
a
the
poop
hell?
happy?
I think because my mother had like older sisters, she was the youngest, and her
hell is a
mother was
poop
like older
happy?
when she had her. But yeah, that private area was called a poop happy when I was growing
A
up.
poop
And then
happy.
I have an aunt on my dad's side calls it a pocketbook.
I heard the
The
pocketbook.
pocketbook, right? So
Are we talking about women parts?
yes.
Yes.
The pocketbook. Why? Because men gonna spend on it.
I don't know. I don't know why they call it a pocketbook. I don't know why my mother called it a poop happy. I mean, I,
I think
can't imagine
because-
having sex
because,
talk
like,
Is
on
that similar to
here and-
punani?
I think a
Yeah.
pocketbook, like a purse, you keep your valuables in it.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's why they called it a pocketbook.
or because there's a pearl there. I mean, I don't know. Could be. I mean,
Oh.
I'm just, keep your
Okay.
pearl
There's
in
a
your
pearl in a pocketbook.
Girl, the pearl tongue. Your
I
clitoris.
thought we was talking about why it's called a pocketbook.
Oh, no.
because it's something expensive in there, and you said because
Oh, expensive.
and I said it. The
Okay,
pearl.
For
that's
some,
where
it
you
is
going.
expensive.
Yes.
For
Is
some,
that
it is
the same-
expensive. Yes.
That's the same difference as valuables,
Uh-huh.
right?
You know,
Yeah,
right.
it's a
But I'm
valuable.
still
It's a
trying to get
pearl
back
down
to the
there.
I
woohoo.
just said that. I was just trying
I'm still back to the woohoo and the zoom zoom because y'all saying snacks and it's Valentine's month. This is the month where everybody just get it in. So that's what I'm saying. Snacks. You saying chips and stuff. I mean, how do you know the person ain't the snack? That's what I'm saying. The
They
woohoo.
could be.
That's what I'm saying. So do you include the chocolate syrup and the whipped cream and
No,
the
it-
pineapples
absolutely,
and
when
the
it comes to
strawberry?
that,
I
yeah.
mean, do you dress yourself up and you become the woohoo? I mean, or he
Ma'am.
become the woohoo? I
A
mean, I'm just.
woohoo and a zoom zoom can be whatever you want it to be.
Oh Lord. whatever
Whatever
I'm-
you want it to be.
You can do whatever you like. Okay.
The woohoo and the zoom zoom can be whatever. As we
So
have
that leads to the zoom zoom. I don't
If
like
you
the
want it
zoom
to
zoom.
lead to a zoom zoom, if you want to define a zoom zoom as a
What's-
next step after
Right.
the woohoo, or
But
the
see-
goal after the woohoo, do that.
But see, when I hear zoom zoom, I'm thinking car and rushing and speed.
But
I don't
it's
want
not just the
Speedy,
zoom zoom. It's a woohoo
like Speedy
together with
Gonzalez
the-
and
Shoot me, shoot me.
me next.
Jeez.
that's what I'm
Both
saying.
of us.
Because if you zoom zoom and you fucking like a rabbit or
Right.
something.
So we were talking about communication.
Yes.
Yes, we were. I'm still back.
Oh.
We gonna get back to it. We's gonna get back to it.
So back to communication.
Let them know
Thank
what you
you.
like.
One of the things as far as like the lack of communication, I think or what do you ladies think? I'll say that. So one of the things that I discovered in kind of like researching the pros and cons was like, if you don't have communication with your spouse or your significant other when it comes to the bedroom, that leads to, I think, more conflict outside of the bedroom. Also, like, there's like, if you can't communicate with your partner and you shut down, then you feel like lonely or separated from your partner.
Or you check
I
out.
think, yeah, kind of like the connection's not there. And I think it's kind of like where sometimes if you're upset or if your significant other's upset with you and you're not communicating that, or they're not communicating that, not only is it like they ostracize you in a way or make you feel lonely, but they're refusing to connect. Like if you're not agreeing with me or you're not in touch with what I'm saying. So there's a disconnect there. So how do you get back? How do you communicate in a way that brings you back full circle and have better communication?
I think really it all depends on how it's presented and how it's brought up. Especially, I think these type of talks should happen before you get into a relationship with somebody. I mean, even though people have like one night stands and things like that, a lot of times you're taking your chances on that. But when it comes to, just communicating that definitely needs to happen before you have sex with a person or before you get in a relationship with a person. And I say that because I know I know of a couple of guys that I'm just friends with. They've been with females that don't like oral sex, like they don't like to get ate out, but they like to do it. And what? I'm serious.
I'm sorry.
I know. It's like, huh? What? Who? What's wrong with her? That's what I said. I was like, what you mean? She don't like what?
Cause she ain't had nobody to do it the way she needed done. So it could be a possibility of why she don't like it.
Is that a deal breaker?
Is what a deal breaker? If you can't perform,
right?
I wouldn't say.
I think that goes both ways.
Some people would say it's a deal breaker, but I think that's also where communication comes in. It's okay to let people know what you like and what you don't like.
Okay, but for example, the idea is to have these talks prior to having an intimate moment, prior to sex, prior to the boudoir. But what happens if that conversation doesn't happen? What if every other thing is addressed? Every other thing, or a lot of other things, or you just assume?
Well, when it happens and you find out you don't like it, that's like, let me put this on my notes.
Right.
Let me put this on my notes. Or if, like, during the moment, I don't know. I think one of the conversations that needs to be had too is like, are people okay with being given guidance? Because that's one thing that people don't address. So it's like, in the moment, it's like, how do I tell them, not right there, go down, go lower, go to the left, go to the right, move to the this, move to the that. You know what I mean? All of that
What
stuff
about
without a person feeling a certain type
inadequate
of way.
right, or like they're not satisfying you.
Well,
which
that's
of
what I
course
was
is what it
saying
is.
earlier. Like, like when they're in the process on the action of, like, a guy says like, ooh, don't stop, keep it right there, or, just like that, keep that going. And just like, like I said with me, I'll be leaning into the hoo-ha, you know what I'm saying? Or
No more woo-hoos. No more.
Right.
This starting
But
to
it's
sound
still-
like a karate movie.
Right.
Cobra Kai up in his mug. But no, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with guidance.
About if we're all obviously open-minded women that don't have a problem with saying whatever, whenever, however, since this is on the web.
I know.
Just put it out there. But what about that woman that's not like us? Or what about a young lady she's new in her sexual experience? So maybe she would address that. Is it okay to address that after? So after the act, and it wasn't what you thought it was,
Mm-hmm.
I need you to do this next time. How do I, without saying I need you to do this next time? Now, when you're like us, you probably say, hold on, babe, wait a minute, hold on.
That's
wait a
hard to
minute.
say. Like,
But
you have
how
to
do
consider
you-
your audience, for one.
Okay.
Know who you're dealing with. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Understand how to communicate with the person you're dealing with.
How are they gonna receive it?
Some people you can be like, look, this is what we need
Like,
you to do
this ain't
next
gonna
time.
work.
You know what I mean?
Start
Or-
over.
Right.
Right.
But it's never too late to spark dialogue and have a conversation unless the person is no longer breathing. But as long as that person is breathing, it's never too late. There's nothing that says like, oh, we didn't talk about this before, so I can never bring this up because I
Right.
forgot to talk about it beforehand. No, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to make amendments and stuff. They amend contracts and all that stuff. You can amend everything else.
There's an addendum to our sex life. Let's review.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take a look at it.
Just saying.
Yeah, I know.
Just saying. I mean, you don't have to say it in those words.
Right.
But you can't have that conversation afterwards. It just depends on who you're talking to. If you could talk to somebody straight up, that's just like your friends, your homegirls. You know what I mean?
Right.
Something happens between y'all that y'all don't like. Not saying it has to be something negative. Or friction
Right,
or whatever. But you know your friend. So you should know how to address them, whether you need to be real soft and baby them and, hey, girl, let's go out to eat. Or let's have a
Right, 'cause
girls
I need to talk
night.
to
What you
you.
Right,
doing?
right.
Come over for
Because
some
something was on my
wine. and-
mind.
you know
right.
what I mean? Just like with men sometimes, how you were saying pamper one, that sometimes when you talk to the mister, you know, you rub his shoulders a little bit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Kiss him on the earlobe.
There's
Right.
certain things you know to do to kind of
Make sure he's listening and receiving
make
it well.
sure they're listening.
Yeah,
Make sure
yeah,
they're in
absolutely.
a good mood. Make sure it's a good day for them. You know, all that
Right,
good stuff
right.
before you get into those conversations, because you want to be careful of some things you can't control, right? You
Right.
can't control how a person receives something.
Right.
But as
absolutely.
long as you try to present it the best way possible, you know what I'm saying? Because you don't want them to be like, something's always wrong. Something's always wrong. I'm never doing anything right. You know what I mean? You don't want them to feel attacked.
And you
for
can't
u-
take that into other aspects of your relationship. So, yeah, you can't say, well, once again, you failed. You know, you didn't, you know, I didn't get mine last night and now there's no gas in my car. You can't.
You good for
You
nothing.
didn't get that $40.
I'm done. I'm sober. No gas, no nut. You're fired.
Right.
Yeah. So that's another part of communication. Like, when is it the okay time to have those intimate conversations versus, you know,
Well, it's kind of like, don't you think it's kind of like rejection? Like when you first, see somebody and you want to meet them and you want to approach that person when you see them because you like what you see. Because nobody likes rejection. So within that communication, I mean, do you think it's that fear of like rejection? And then when they say, well, no, I didn't like how you did that. So they'll probably just be like, they'll sink in, or they'll probably think that the person is, what's the word, insatiable, to where, like they're,
no matter what
they-
I do, they
I
won't be
can't please you.
satisfied.
Right.
Right.
So,
right, right.
I mean, do you think is because of that, that their partner might make them feel like, that, their partner is that way. And because they thinking that way, it might do something probably internal within them,
Right.
because of the rejection.
Possibly.
Because, I wouldn't,
You might shut down if
I
someone
wouldn't like
says
it.
to you, yeah, this was not satifying to me at that time. That's why I was wondering about that,
Oh,
because
use your words very carefully.
what
Ooh.
happened? What?
Like if you like, this is not satisfying to me. Like, I don't satisfy you.
Right.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
But I mean, some people are like, I'm not going to waste your time. Let's get down to it. That was not satisfying. Let's know. Let's
Some
not do
will
that.
do that.
But
But again,
then-
consider your audience.
Right.
yeah.
But what about when you're like, okay, that's why I was like, when is that time? Because if you say that during that moment, nope, down a little bit to the, oh, right there. But I don't want to be right there. Hold on. That's not where I want to be. There are some men
Where's
like that.
right there
So
in
then
between?
it's like,
I get
she
that.
had the nerve to give me direction. So if you don't, if you say,
Right.
wait a minute,
But here's
I'll talk to him after. And then
Mhm.
he says, oh, well, you didn't say anything. Or, oh, so you didn't like it. So you know what I mean? It's like,
Mhm,
that's
mhm.
this whole big gray area
Mhm,
of
mhm.
how do we address that then?
But that is in another thing with that, because
Right.
you're saying how he wants to do what he wants to do,
Right,
but you
right.
need him to be
Yeah.
elsewhere. That's also an additional conversation.
During action?
right.
You know what? Not during.
Oh,
I
okay.
wouldn't, I wouldn't have that
saying.
during.
If
But
he's
a
sa- if you're
conversation
saying-
is to talk with your partner and be like, what is sex to you? What do you get out of it? You know what I mean? Things like that, because some men feel like they know everything. They
Which
are
they
the
don't.
master of sex,
Even with
and
little
they
dicks.
know what women want.
That's why I
and
said
Right.
all
you
of that
can't waste your
mentality-
time. Like, stop. Hold on.
it's an ego thing.
It is.
But it's also because some women didn't communicate. Or many, if you've been, say, in a long-term relationship, or you've been with women that just didn't communicate
Mhm.
and didn't say, hold on, mister,
Mhm.
that's not what we do. We don't, blowing in the,
Shut
no, we don't do
up.
that.
No.
No one's ever said anything to you about that. Like, real,
Don't blow.
that's real
Don't
talk.
blow on us. Spit
I'm
on
old
it or
school.
whatever.
Don't do that.
Right.
Don't.
That's like
No.
that's like with me and
Stop.
fingering. I don't mind. I don't care. I don't like fingering. I don't like to be fingered. And I tell them if they even try to put 2 or 3 in, no, damn it, no. We ain't
Okay,
about
but
to do
if that's something that he feels like he's into, you're like, hey, but that's the thing. Hey, no, don't do that.
Right, I'll tell them.
I mean, but
You know,
if,
And then
but this
where's
is the
his
thing,
feelings?
His feelings technically shouldn't matter, because in those intimate moments, and I'm not gonna say they shouldn't totally 100%, but in those
Harrison said, "Fuck
in
your
those-
feelings."
I mean,
I'm sorry,
honestly,
E-Class
because
said, "Fuck
this
your
is what I'm
feelings."
saying. When I'm engaged with someone in intimacy, whether it's conversation, be it to foreplay, be it to sexual,
Right.
my goal is to make sure they are pleased.
But shouldn't it be
So,
both ways?
It should be both ways. I'm speaking from me.
Mm-hmm.
My goal is to make sure they are pleased.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
But what if you're with
if
somebody
I'm-
that's a taker, and then
if
how do you
they're
communicate
telling
that?
me, if they're telling me something that they don't like, but I like doing it anyway, what I like doesn't matter, because if they're not satisfied, I won't be happy.
Yeah, I get that.
But
'cause I'm the
that's from
same
your
way.
perspective. And we're much more emotional, and sex for
We
us
are.
is much more
I
emotional.
try to- I
Men are just
sure
like,
try
let
to
me bust
explain
one
it.
and let me move around. Because if that was the case, foreplay and stuff like that, it wouldn't be an issue. Because men would be like, we gonna get it in, we gonna get this foreplay going, we gonna get it nice and wet, and we gonna make it happen. But they don't. So that's
Boy, she said that in one whole thing, but it didn't take a breath or nothing. Yes, Pamper one. she said,
they
but
don't call me the pampered one for nothing. Let
I
me
know
let me
that's
put it
right.
out there
Tell it
for you.
like it
So,
is.
It is.
but that's the thing. It's like you will have those men that are like, I've been doing this, I got this, I know what I'm doing. And when you have to say, hold on, bruh.
And
Like,
you
you
could
have
let,
to go
you
there
could let
sometime,
them
like,
have, they
you
can
are
take that
not-
ego right on to the next one.
But what happens if you have, that's what I'm saying. What if you're in a place that there's feelings involved? Because of course, if there's not feelings involved, of course, go on your way and go blow up somebody else's hoo-ha, that's fine. But I'm saying at this point, if you're at a point of, say, like, you weren't communicating and there's love involved, there's a relationship involved, and now we need to communicate because you're not doing this. I'm not satisfied. Foreplay is not important to you. And you have this idea that you've been putting in work and doing the damn thing because you get scrambled eggs in the morning. I'm giving you scrambled eggs so you can move around and get out of my face because I'm burnt. So
want some
how do you have that
pancakes.
conversation? At that point, when you wouldn't emotionally say, okay, that didn't work for me, move around.
You know, there's fun ways to kind of have these conversations
I
too,
was just
because
thinking-
nowadays they have so many like card games and sex games and dating
Mhm.
games and all type of stuff where if you don't know how to approach the topic or how to have
Good
that
idea.
Topic.
discussion with your partner, do it in a fun way.
Like the sex dice.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Okay.
Yeah, do
That's
it
a
in
good idea.
do it
Yeah.
in a fun way.
Or I was thinking, or take them somewhere that relaxes them, or something that they like to
Yes,
do, and then
because
bring
you
up
don't
the
want them to
conversation.
feel like they're under the
Attacked.
scope and they're
Right.
being attacked and they're being criticized.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
You want to kind of like soften the blow because it's gonna be a blow.
So you
It
can get a
is.
blow.
But
On
there
either
are
end.
men that do that, that are just like, oh really? Well, you just don't know what you're talking about. Oh well.
Right. I never had
There
that
are
problem
men
before.
that have that, right?
Right.
And you want to say because she was an idiot and she didn't say anything.
Thank
Right.
you.
But
So okay,
'Cause a lot of
Y'all
these
making
women
me think
folk
of a
be-
story about
A
myself.
lot of these women folk
because-
be faking.
Yeah, they will be
Right.
faking.
I don't have
Faking.
There are
time.
men
I
that
know.
fake it too.
Life's too short. No,
So
you don't
what about
fake
a
it till you
woman's
make it.
ego? What about a woman's ego? Because women's egos can be hurt too during, when it comes to
Absolutely.
sexual performance. Because mine was hurt one time, but
Absolutely.
it was. All he said was I was too rough, and I've never had that in my life. He said I was too rough. I was like, what the?
me some of you my boyfriend.
Everybody-
Well, first of all,
it wasn't quite like that, you know.
Okay, I was just
It wasn't like that, but I was,
her testosterone
bring-
levels is a little
yeah,
high
it was a little
than
bit
normal.
high. It was a
A
little bit high.
than normal.
Yes, that's what I was doing. Yeah, that's what was okay. Yes, it was.
Okay,
there you
okay.
have it. That was my woo-woo
Right.
moment. And all he said, he said I was too rough, and I was like, too rough? I ain't never been told that. Here's my ego. What? You don't know what you talking about and all this other stuff. Blah blah blah. So we're.
But did that
Excuse me,
make
going
you?
back-
Did that
Go
really
ahead.
quick? Did that make you think like, what if anybody else ever thought that but never said it? Like, does that make you backtrack your experiences and be like, well,
It
was
did
I?
because
Like,
I
oh,
wonder
he
if
wasn't sore
anybody-
from the sex. He was sore because I hurt his back a little bit. Like, did you go
Well,
there?
No, he didn't.
Now she going back like,
Now we
nah.
Well, I mean, yes and no, because I did go ask some, previous, or, those I had in the past,
Right.
like, what that too rough? They was like, no, and so I told them the situation, and then they was like, huh?
What
You know?
if they said no because they don't want to be a punk?
No,
Right.
the particular ones I'm thinking of that I asked, no, they literally said
They would
that,
be honest.
Yeah, they would be
Okay.
honest, and they thought it was weird that a guy said that I was too rough because they was like, I ain't never heard no man tell a female that she too rough in the bed and all this other stuff. Now I've heard like guys say like they wouldn't have sex with a female because she
Because They wouldn't have sex with a
Because-
female
no,
at
because
all?
no, because
I was
Wait,
nervous.
what?
no,
Hold on.
because the female will put it on. They ain't trying to get hooked or whatever. But
Okay.
they, so then the next question to me about old boy was, is he gay? And I was like, I don't know, but I ain't gonna. But because he told me, but because he told me that I was too rough. It did hurt my ego for a minute. And like I said, when we was going back and forth and everything. So, and because it hurt my ego, I told him, I was like, well, since we going to be honest about who do what in the bedroom, your ass couldn't last long. You know what I'm saying?
Communication, once again.
Communication,
101.
Right.
So you attacked.
I did. But I mean, it was the truth, though.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, but you could
Because you wouldn't have said it if he wouldn't have said what he said.
Right.
True that. I wouldn't have. But it was just like, he was just, I don't know.
Yes,
It
we're
just did
petty with
something
the
to me. I know,
Wow.
right? I mean, thinking back on it now, yes, I did react because of how it was presented to me. It wasn't how we were talking about, taking me on a date,
Right.
or taking me fishing. Yes, I like to go
Well,
fish.
you would hurt the man. He wasn't. It was like,
Honey,
I'm not going on a date
Right.
because we might have to do
I
this
know.
again,
See,
and it
let me
hurts.
tell you
So-
what had happened was.
I know.
Let me tell you what. Let me tell you what had
Let me
happened
tell you
was.
what had happened, right?
She was trying to peg him, and he was like, "No,
I wasn't trying to peg
no."
him. No, I wasn't trying to peg him. Even though that's still one of my
But
fantasies. Yes.
this is so that sparks another question though, because why, if a man doesn't like a certain roughness, right? Maybe he thinks of sex as a sensual, intimate, I don't know, lovey-dovey, romantic kind of thing. So
But
why,
it
if
shouldn't be all the time.
should
Right,
it for
because
who?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
This is a possible perspective.
That's
Remember, it's
true.
a possible perspective.
Okay.
There may be someone somewhere in the world that thinks this way.
that
that
likes to
one
make
person in
love.
Australia.
They
yeah.
watch a lot of love movies and dramas
Well,
where
I need him to
you
remove
know, sex is
Lifetime
always
from.
slow and intimate and all of that stuff. So why, if someone thinks, but why if someone thinks that way, why they gotta be gay?
That's a
Like,
different topic, I think, because
I'm
I don't.
just
No,
saying.
but for me personally, I don't think that a gay relationship. I understand what you're saying.
I
Because
do
when I
too.
think of it, I don't think of a
Like,
gay
why would that be
relationship
the
any
first thing?
different. Yeah,
Out of-
because
out
it
of
would
their
be
head.
intimate
And I was just
Yeah.
like, well, I don't know. I mean, I
Like
never.
all men are not rough and
well, the ones
picking
I
up
Yeah.
cars and mechanics and getting dirt and greasy and wrestling and all, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like all men aren't super masculine like that.
But I think some of the ones that hold
Or
back will
as
still
they're
slap you on the
expected to
ass.
be.
I mean,
I get
that's
what you're
just
saying
me,
because
but-
I mean, yeah, because I've had guys, they don't like just straight fucking all the time. They'll go off and get the movement going, and then after so long, then it's like yeah. But
I can't stand that bunny rabbit all night.
I didn't say
couldn't-
bunny rabbit.
I didn't
said
say you
yeah.
said
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, bitch.
I ain't
Woo
say you
woo
said
and
it.
yeah. That's what we're doing tonight.
Not the zoom. Okay.
I didn't say
We'll
that.
get to the zoom, I guess, after you woohoo and yeah.
But no, like, but I understand that because, that was presented to me years ago too, that, I was told, you don't know how to make love. I was like, yes, I do.
But the question
I'm just
is,
fucking you.
this is
And
different.
see, but I was just straight up. But this was in my heyday when I didn't care. I still don't. But I mean, I didn't mind telling a guy straight up. You know what I'm saying? I didn't.
I mean, but that's another thing though.
Was that a man?
What is
What?
Was he gay? I'm
Who?
sorry, but did the man
Who's
say
gay?
no? When she-
right? Who's gay?
The guy that I was talking about.
no, was it from a man's perspective? Because men sometimes will do that, where a woman might not say, was he gay? But a guy might say, okay, well, if he didn't like that, was he gay? That might be from a men's perspective, a whole different psyche idea. That's what I was trying to get to before your question to make sure. So was
No,
it
he
you
wasn't.
that was it you that said, well, okay, wait a minute, is he gay? Or was it a guy that said, oh, he felt that way, so was he gay? You
It was
understand
the
what I'm
guy
asking?
the guys were asking me, was
Right.
he gay?
That was my
No,
thing.
it
Because a
never
woman
crossed
might
my
not think
mind.
that, but a man might say, "Oh, wait a minute, you're asking me this. None of the other guys felt that way, so he must be gay." If that, because that's how some men are. The homophobic of men. That's what I was trying to get to before you asked your question, so that I was in there. Okay, so back to you class.
She
And
had
her
to get it
question.
together,
She
y'all.
had to get it out.
She had to get
together.
it together and catch up.
It's hot in here, y'all.
So
It
my
is. We about
question,
to get warm.
my
Yes.
question is, what is the difference? And I believe that a lot of people have different, I don't know, descriptions of these two. But what's the difference between making love and fucking? Because
Well,
you know what I mean? Like if you watching movies or porn, like me growing up, I always thought making love was that slow,
right.
intimate kissing and all that stuff. And fucking is bang,
The
bang,
yeah,
bang,
bitch,
bang,
yeah.
bang, bang.
Was that a punch to the back of the head? Oh,
That
wait a
donkey
minute.
punch, yeah.
What did he
bitch,
say?
yeah.
Well, he was supposed to say bang, bang, bang.
Bang, bang,
Who?
bang, ski, ski, ski. Bang,
No,
bang. What?
the actor that said bang, bang, bang.
Oh, what was
John
his name?
Witherspoon?
John Witherspoon.
Yes.
Yeah, that was his. He was.
Whip
so
that pussy. Bang, 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 bang. Okay.
I always think of that, and when he had the mushroom suit, he's like, you got to coordinate.
Right, gotta coordinate. Yeah.
I was like, oh no, I have an uncle that would wear that suit, but that's a whole different topic.
Yep.
So anyway, the difference
okay,
between
go.
making love and fucking.
Yes.
Okay, can you fuck somebody that you're in love with?
Hell yeah.
Okay.
That's the best part because you get to be yourself and be free, no limits and shit.
Okay,
Yes.
Right,
so
right.
what is making love and what is
Fucking.
fucking?
Say it. You can say it. Fucking.
First
Okay.
of all, I already said it.
We just don't get as
But she get
exciting about
quiet.
saying the
She
word
got
as you
quiet
do.
on
Like,
it.
I like saying that
Straight
word.
fucking.
Because then you
Okay.
just ask, like, can you fuck somebody that you're in love with? What's the difference?
I think you can fuck somebody that you're in love
Because a
with.
lot
I
of
think
people
you make
don't
love
know.
to someone that you're
In
in love with, but I
Yes.
don't think you can fuck. I don't think you can make love to someone that you're not in love with. Or if
Okay.
it's just that's like the idea of if you're a friend with benefits. You ever heard of that question? A friend with benefits is when does it
That's just it.
does it
No
stay
emotions.
that, or does it
Yeah, see,
eventually
that's kind of in the category
you
of fucking.
get but then they'll say like can you have a friend with benefits and just fuck and
Yeah.
never have feelings?
Hell yeah.
Absolutely, but a
Yeah,
lot of people
you
think
could.
you can't.
I've
You
done it.
could.
Yeah.
But I think where it switches is because whatever person already kind of has an interest in that person anyway. I think there's already an underlying interest in one or the other anyway.
That led to that friends
Yes.
with benefits situation.
Yeah.
Somebody
Okay.
Because you're
said,
friends with benefits and then it changes
Okay.
into somebody feelings getting involved.
somebody
Okay.
said that one has passion and one not so much.
I agree.
So making love has the passion and the other one doesn't because I guess the passion is more where you have feelings into it. Kind of like how you said with the friends with benefits, it's just sex, no emotions, no nothing. But with making love, it's, you just kind of like the
One
the
has
transference
passion
of
and one
energies.
does not. What if somebody's passionately fucking you?
Right. I was gonna say you can't fuck with passion.
Damn.
fucking are you
She
doing
got-
if you
I
can't
like
do it with
that, though.
passion?
I like
So
that.
what
That's like-
determines? You know what I mean? I don't think there really is a definite like black or white of what it is.
You think some people get the two confused?
Oh,
I don't know.
absolutely.
I won't
think so.
say if they get it confused because we can't even clearly define the two. Can
Well-
you clearly define the two?
Well, yeah, because I think with the passion, you can because it's like it's more sensual and sexual and
Everybody's
it's more,
passion is not
but it's
sensual
more
and
feelings
sexual.
into it and everything like that. Like I can passionately fuck somebody, but then I won't. It just be nothing. I don't have to talk to you the next day when when we see each other. It's like what's up. But I think somebody
So
that
you think
I'm
the-
making love to is more of a feeling.
think
I
it's-
have feelings for that person. Like
so you think it's the overall connection between the two that makes the
Yes,
difference?
Yes, there you go. Thank
Okay.
you. That's what I said because it's more like I said it's
I'm
like more like the
let's clearly
transfer.
define this.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I said like more like the transfers of energies because like you said the connection because there are people that you just automatically connect with and when you already know when the two of you about to meet up it's gonna be woo. You know what I'm
Chemistry,
saying? Yes,
chemistry,
the chemistry
chemistry.
and everything, and then of course. If you just want to get one off and you know who to call, it's just like, okay, thank you very much. That was great.
But
Pound them
can
up
you-
and just
can
go on
you
about the
have
business.
chemistry with somebody you just fucking? Cause y'all can have sexual chemistry.
I mean, well, that's sexual chemistry, but then the making love and the passion is not there. The passion and the sensuality is not there. You know what I mean? I mean, because you can have chemistry with somebody like y'all could just be
you
cool.
could be sensual with somebody and not be in love with them. There
I
are
don't know
men.
about
There
that,
are,
E.
there
Yeah.
are men and women. One who get paid to sell dreams, right? They get paid to be sensual, to be passionate, all of those things to give you a false sense of connection. And it's nothing for them. It's not making love for them.
But see, keyword is false. It's fake. It's not real. I mean, the making
And
love
if you're
part.
paying for it, you should know
Right.
that.
Right.
Oh, wait.
But-
I digress.
I know she
Oops.
Simatan now.
Sorry about that. Okay. So we were at selling the dream and the passion.
You would think if you're paying for it, you should know that, but they don't.
Right.
They-
like I'm the one person that's
they
paying for it that
fall
he
deep
really
into the
loves.
dream.
That really, okay.
They
Yeah, I
fall
know.
deep into the dream to the point they want to take you away from people paying for you. They want you for themselves.
But you got to pay.
Enough.
A lot.
A whole lot.
A whole lot. Mm.
Uh-oh.
No,
What's
no,
that?
no.
That's that, y'all. I get nervous.
Because I mean, I'm sorry, but you can't take me. I mean, if that happens, I mean, if I was to, I mean, if I were to be in that field, you ain't just gonna keep me for yourself and take me away from, more money, especially if I'm here to, like you said, sell the fantasy, sell the dream, sell the whatever. You're not about to stop me from doing that. Because what if, you giving me, 5 figures, 20,000 or whatever, but here comes this, 8-figure nigga,
Right.
that comes,
But-
and I'm like,
this
he
is-
giving me all kinds of,
But this
whatever.
is the thing. They're giving you passion. They're giving you sensuality.
Who's giving me passion?
Whomever. It could be anybody.
By
And
giving me
let's
money?
take
She's
it from
selling.
let's take it
not
from
like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
She's selling.
I'm selling.
She's the one
Yeah,
selling,
I'm
y'all.
not getting the money. That's what
Right,
I'm saying.
that
If
she
I
just
was
said
to
it.
be
She
in
was
that field,
selling.
let's say not even selling. There are men and women, period,
Right.
that get off
It does something
emotionally.
to 'em.
It does
Right,
something
right.
for their ego to be passionate, to be sensual, to this.
I got 5 women in love with me.
Yes,
Right,
they
right.
love perfecting that. They love perfecting that. They love being the ladies' man or
Okay.
the man's woman or whatever. I don't know.
I don't know
A
if they say
gigolo.
I don't know if they say for the woman, but
gigolo
they
guy.
people
Okay.
people do that.
Right. Okay. I see
You know
what
what I
you're saying in
mean?
that
Like
aspect.
it's a craft for them. It's a
Right,
game for them.
right.
You know what I mean? But they can give you all that.
and take your
But
money
that's
and go home, or
dangerous.
not even take
Or
your money
not
like you
even for
said, or not. It's
money.
just what I do,
But
and I like
yes.
it. And
But even at that, that's still dangerous because, because of the fact that they're selling this, dream or these wolf tickets or whatever. Providing that type of passion is dangerous because, what if the person falls in love, and everything,
Exactly.
and but that's not where, and that's the difference between making love and fucking. I'd rather be passionate and making love with somebody that I'm into, have feelings for, and all that other stuff versus, the people that I'm, just fucking, and if they want whatever, okay, I give it to you, but however that may be, but it's still a dangerous game. And, especially when you said that, when people provide those dreams or, get into their minds
your
like
psyche,
that, does that include certain fetishes? Because there are people that, they, upon them getting that fantasy or getting that dream, that getting that, that psyche or whatever, they also getting their fetishes met. So do they fall in love because of that? Is that
Possibly.
passionate for them because their fetish is being met?
Possibly.
Oh my
yeah,
god.
I'm sure there's men that leave
For
home
them,
because
it
their-
possibly is.
Yeah, their dominatrix is better than their wife because their wife's timid.
That's the communication. What if you meet a guy who's like a Christian Grey?
Where?
Okay, you know what I'm
Where
saying?
he at? Where
Yeah,
he
yeah.
at?
I mean, not so much the money, but the whole,
I'm not talking about
S&M. Oh, okay. All right.
I got a pad, just so you know. Okay.
Get them, them whips and them chains and them swings, and
I think that is
it'll
so
be a
cool.
whole circus up in that
But
dang old dungeon.
Christian Grey had a lot going for him other than just being sexually open.
Mhm.
Now tell me, speaking of
Just
something
his
like that, you were
character.
taking on the money or the character,
Just
So,
all of it.
what
Like you got a
about-
stable man with money.
Right.
He has like this quiet dominance.
right?
You know what I mean? He's the
Right.
alpha male. He walks into the room. He doesn't have to
He
say a word,
commands
and
it.
people just notice him.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
That honey, that right there.
Baby.
Somebody
Mm.
said that the movie Thin Line Between Love and Hate was an example as far as the passionate providing that fakeness, and you see,
Narcissist.
yes, you know,
Yes.
that is a good example because
It
it
is.
was kind of like what you said about the man. She was the alpha female. Everywhere she went, you know, she had the money, you know, she had that presence, but
I think too,
Eh.
what the
yeah.
what the person commenting might be saying also is she told him, I'm not stable. I'm not going to do this with you. You don't want to play games with me. She kind of played a cat and mouse with him too, but she
But
said,
she did tell him.
if you're not serious, I can't go through heartbreak. She let him know I'm cool and I'm you're getting fucked up.
Yeah.
That's what she let him know. And it was the game for him. And once he
Getting
got
fucked up.
her and reeled her in, he was like, oh, I'm good.
Yep.
And she was like, oh, no, you're not. Because I'm about to
Exactly.
touch you.
Exactly.
Right.
Right.
Because I warned you. I warned you.
Right.
Don't get my feelings involved.
And people who know me know I will tell you in a minute, I'll cut you. So I can relate to
Look,
what she's saying. She told his ass and he played the game. So it is what it is. That's
And so
me
where,
and my opinion on that.
Where would you put that within the spectrum of communication when it comes to, you know, what you like or, you know, feeling, sex, fucking,
She
however.
communicated.
I
Don't
know,
come over here fucking
but
with
for
me
him to
because
still
I'm not
play
stable.
that, but for him to still play that, you know what I mean?
And that's
then-
why he was under the water in the pool and somebody had to go save his ass
Hello.
because she told him. You
y'all
know,
don't
he
want to
play-
listen.
he
Y'all be
played
getting
that game.
warned.
And she
Right.
told him over it. It wasn't just one time like, you know what, this is cute, but no, thank you. She told him a number of times. And the more she told him,
Mhm, mhm.
like you were saying, the more she told him, the more he wanted that chase. The more
Mhm.
that he did to reel her in.
Yep.
That was his thing.
So he was willing to get fucked up over some coochie.
Yeah,
No,
because he probably.
it
but
wasn't
this
even
is
the sex
thing.
though. It was the game.
It's
The
the
game.
It was
challenge.
the game. If she would have been all for, okay, let's go, let's have sex, fuck, whatever you want to call it. If she was all for that, it wouldn't have been a chase for him, and he probably would have hit it
Absolutely.
and kept on moving, and
And
it
if he
wouldn't
would
have been
have
that chase.
really known how crazy she was, he probably wouldn't have did it.
Oh no,
But she told him
Absolutely
during
not.
sex that she killed her husband.
yeah, during sex,
Like,
but
okay.
she told
Thank
him
you.
before that. So now she's like, I'm
So
letting
he
you
ain't
know.
even, he
If
ain't
there's
even
any man
halfway
listening-
listening. He probably in his mind like, this bitch is
He
crazy.
did, he did, but
He
then she
did,
hopped
but it was
right back
too
on
late.
it, and then he was like, "Oh, you know what I'm saying?"
He was he was in the moment. That's all he cared about at that
But
time.
I want to know if there's
And he
any
probably
men
thought she said
listening.
it
If
in
you'll
moment.
answer, I don't know. Would your dick go soft if one female told you that she killed her husband because he cheated on her?
No,
They would
Probably not.
probably no. They'd
No.
probably finish, of course.
right, and then be like,
and then be like, deuces, right?
Right. And then
Right.
leave.
Remember at Stroke 99
they
when
gon'
you said
finish.
that little thing about
Not
your
Stroke
husband?
99,
You were joking
Lord.
about that, right? Oh, it's gonna stay in his mind because he gonna remember how many strokes he
Absolutely.
had left before he had to ask that
Absolutely.
question.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. No, he's not gonna go soft, but he's gonna be a little nervous. That's why his ass was in the damn refrigerator, beep boop, beep boop, beep boop, boop, because he knew it was about to be a situation. So
Right.
What was
That's
he
what-
doing in the
he
refrigerator?
was dialing, chop, beep boop, beep boop.
I love it.
He was
telling
calling
his boys.
That's right, because he
Oh, no.
already knew it was a situation.
Hello.
But he should have figured that out when she told him as many times as she did. So maybe it was kind of like the cat and mouse, but she was like, okay, we'll do this cat and mouse if you're interested, but I want to let you know this cat and mouse needs to stop if you are playing a real game.
That
And
part.
he didn't take heed. So yeah,
That part.
that whole part, that whole
part.
vibe. Yeah.
That part. And that's one thing, like you could be so completely upfront and honest with people and they just take it so nonchalant.
Mhm.
Like
Like, whatever. You
you
ain't
not
for real.
yeah, like you not for real. Like once I get you, you're gonna forget about all of that.
Mhm.
All that, mhm.
You'll have a different attitude because I'm that man or whatever.
Or I'm
Absolutely.
that chick. I'm that bitch. You know.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
how females
yeah.
say, what they be saying now that you gonna go over there with that basic bitch? I'm the bitch, you know, whatever the hell they be saying
Right.
out there. No, because it seems like, especially nowadays, since you know with technology and everything just available to you and people learning and thus the communication, like how we were talking, it seems like certain things does become a competition of who can do it the best. You know, like
Between
you know,
the
especially
couple?
or just whoever, you know, whoever they're messing with, because you know, like there are songs I hear like, you know, she can't stroke it like me, or you know, he can't do it like me, you know what I'm saying? And because of that type of mentality, it seems like it does become a competition that's, the whole communication thing, because, there are people that might be bold enough to ask you like, well, does your girlfriend do this to you? Because I like doing that. You know what I'm saying? Or just, or does your man do this to you? Because, I know he can't be doing that. But how you looking at me right now? And then they'll start doing that, that whole tongue flickering shit. And that's a turn off for me. Don't do that shit. If you like it and coochie, just say that. Don't fucking flick your tongue and do this shit and all that other stuff.
Oh my God, that is a pet peeve of mine.
I hate that too. That's what I'm saying.
I hate that.
So don't use that as a communication to think that you're gonna get these. No. So
there used to be a guy that used to do this right here and flick the tongue. Oh my God. Even if I was like in the mood.
That's still a turn off.
Yeah.
Right. And
you're a grown ass man doing that though. That was
right. If you have to do that, you a grown ass man to pull somebody. I think you have some grown ass issues. I need you to go read a book. Go sit in the corner, read a book, because this is not the place.
And I don't know if it's because
we got grown shit going on.
And I don't know if it was because I was younger than him. Like I don't know if it was because I was younger than him. Maybe he thought that was something that would
get you excited.
Like, sir, I'm old as hell, okay? First and foremost. Like, I'm not 21. I'm not 22.
And second,
you're
doing it wrong.
19 or something,
or just little feelings.
Right.
Like, I'm in my 30s and you're
Right.
Like, what, you trying to get a 16-year-old or something? Like, I don't understand. Like, I don't
get that either. Or lick your lips like
certain
LL
things
or
you
something,
just shouldn't. I just feel like certain gestures, again, know your audience. Know your audience. If that never got you nowhere with me, why would you continue to do it?
But would that be similar to like how females,
Maybe
when they eat like an ice cream cone
and trying to be all
the big
sexy?
stick? Yeah, See, y'all don't hear what we hear, but our engineer,
he said it's so annoying.
From a man's perspective, absolutely. Well, they'll be mad at me because I like I'm biting the shit. So they'll be like, "Oh, wait a minute, we're not messing with her." If that's what turns them on,
you get that big ass pickle from the store, you just right. You know what I'm saying? But that's not your intention to try to turn a guy on. No. You just like eating fucking pickles.
Like fucking pickle. Get your ass.
Man.
Yes,
it makes you not want to eat a pickle in front of nobody, a popsicle in front of nobody, a banana in front of nobody.
I don't have those issues.
You could be eating something
like
regular and somebody be like, "Ooh, you trying to turn me on?" Like, no. Nigga, I'm eating. What are you eating?
Right. And if I see him looking like he might be turned on, I'm taking 2 bites.
Right. And they do it though. Let me take a man do that though, because I've had men look at me and I'm eating a fucking whole chicken drumstick and I'm just tearing it up and dude just looking like, and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I like the way you turn up that chicken bone.
Are you one of them people that like put the whole thing in your mouth and when you pull it out, all the meat be off?
Mm-hmm.
That's why you nasty.
No, I'm not. I'm not.
I get that too because I'm pierced, so I get a lot of people that do that too. They're like, "Oh, your tongue's pierced." Like, first of all, I did it when I was 19. I didn't do it for a reason, but that's a turnoff for me because I have so many men will be like, "Is your tongue pierced?" Like, yeah,
I got my tongue pierced at 18. Mm-hmm. Why? It was just something I wanted to do.
Thank you. But they think you suck dick.
I kind of like that.
Yeah.
Let me get it done. See how I like it. And then all of a sudden, I was like the most famous dick sucker ever. I know you suck dick good. You got to tell me.
It don't mean that.
You stupid. At that point, I had never even sucked a dick before. Now I'm a professional. I got a piece of metal
because
in
you
my
the
mouth.
one really, that's what y'all get out of that? Right. That I know how to suck dick because no.
But that was the thing for me.
Because I had one too, and people just automatically sometimes I'm like, no.
What the fuck?
Like, you can't have nothing just to have something.
Right.
You can't even be a PK without. Like, when once people found out that I was a PK, it's, I know you a freak. Oh, I know you.
Or you got the tattoo at the bottom of, of your back, tramp stamp, and they thinking automatically.
Oh, you know what? See what had happened was. At 18, I got my tramp stamp and my tongue pierced.
There we go.
And so
you was just the whole shebang.
Everybody's just the whole
right.
Okay, that was just a whole hoe. A full out
hoe.
But that was the
and
thing.
I
That
was a
was so,
PK?
yeah.
Right. Oh,
like,
God. Yeah, they
you
probably
were
thought
the
you was
one.
a
The
hoe.
leader of the host. You know what I'm saying? The leader of the host.
That's where you. It's like, what makes you think that? And for me, that was me. I was just like, shit. I got my tongue pierced. I had 2 holes in my nose. Like I was pierced everywhere. I have 5 holes in this ear,
Everywhere.
4 in this
Yeah,
ear.
you got it. You
Ears
got a
don't
pierce down
count.
there. Mhm.
Ears
You got
don't
your
count.
nipples
When we
pierced.
talk about piercings, ears don't count.
Okay. Yeah, I had 2 on my nose and my tongue, and yeah. So as we were saying,
And where else?
Right,
And where
right.
else?
You got them on the circles. You got your piercings on your circles. That's a yes. She took too long.
Absolutely.
Very-
Hot
you guys are all
Right.
in my woos and zooms, right? Who was
You
that?
started it talking about I got piercings everywhere.
No, I didn't. Well,
Well,
we were talking about the fact that assholes out there like, oh, you sucked a great dick, or you suck a great dick
Because
you
you
have
got
a
a
tongue
piercing.
piercing.
you
right?
ain't gonna be like, oh, your ears are pierced. She must be.
No, I was saying that like that was my thing. Like I
Of
had
course,
hella.
we're gonna talk about other areas.
Well,
You want
would
to
that
talk
be
about
like-
your ears and your nose.
Would that be the stereotype, like men with especially black men with big, beautiful lips that they know how to eat coochie?
What
That's
is-
like women with certain lips.
But
Ooh,
why would
got
you
them
need
DSLs.
your lips?
DSLs,
You
right.
got them dick sucking lips. You got them
They prob-
soup coolers.
But wait
What?
a minute. What? But wait a minute. I can kind of understand women on a shaft. I understand that. You might use your lips, suck a dick, great. But what the fuck do lips have to do with eating some pussy? That's what I'm trying to. I'm sorry, I'm being vulgar, but that just took me like, what? Who thinks like that?
You,
Apparently,
a lot of
some
people.
men.
Yeah. Men and
Apparently, some women.
yeah.
Okay,
No,
I
there
never
are
had.
women.
I never had that thought. Like, oh, he's got great lips.
You never
Probably.
heard? You never heard
No,
that?
I'm
I've
saying
heard
for
women
me,
saying
I've
men with
never
nice
had-
lips know how to.
Me?
Yeah.
Really? I see nice lips and I think about kissing. I don't think
Right.
about oral.
Yeah.
Yeah, oral.
I
So what
don't
do they
think
do with
about
their
oral.
lips?
Kiss it.
Kiss
I don't
it?
know, but, literally.
Wait a minute.
that's
I
a
know.
whole-
Wait,
that's a whole
wait a minute.
That's a whole action. Wait a
hold
minute.
on, hold on. I know Miss Idaho, the pampered one, is not asking what do they do with their lips.
No, I'm saying, wait a minute now. You don't want to take me there right now. That's a whole different show. I don't see that in my notes, but I'm just saying, I said
You
just
save it
the
for next
lips.
week.
I don't look at lips and think, damn, he could eat some good pussy. Now a whole kind of, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I don't think that.
I don't.
I think about kissing. That's about
Right,
As far as
that's
I
what
go.
I'm
As far as
saying.
men's
I'm not saying what
lips
are they-
concerned.
Right.
So with that, may I ask this question? So just how we're pretty much thinking of the pre perceptions or whatever, like the big lips or the tongue rings and with it being winter, with the sweatpants and all that other stuff.
Gray sweat.
Right, the gray sweatpants.
Now, gray
Should-
sweatpants matter. I'm just.
Or females with the camel toe. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Honey,
no.
That's
no,
not comfortable.
Everybody and they mom. Go ahead. I ain't even gonna go
I
there.
know. Well, I guess my question is, does communication also play a part in these assumptions, as far as like how we think, just like with the tongue ring, like if a guy, especially if you're just dating a guy and all that other stuff, what if he comes down and asks you, do you like doing that? Because of that assumption or assuming or, perception that he may have about you.
So
Can
he
communication
sees me.
play a part?
So he sees me with a tongue ring and says, "Do you
but
like
that's what I'm
sucking
saying.
dick?"
It's all a communication,
Is that what
remember?
you're saying?
Yeah.
Are you
Like,
in a
if-
relationship or is this some guy? that-
relationship, dating, whatever you want to say. It's just
If
you
you're in
know,
a
not just
relationship
some
and dating,
random-
I
not-
think,
not-
but
not a
just some random.
Let me skip.
I was
okay.
about to say he about to get cussed smooth
Clean
out.
No, not a random. Somebody you know. That's what I'm saying. Like,
is he of like a? I mean, is this just an associate or is this somebody that you're going down the path of a relationship with?
somebody like I said, nobody random. Like and they just.
But you know the person.
But they want to know. They just have to ask you because.
like, hey, I see you got your tongue pierced. Like, you like sucking dick?
Yeah, like would
Or
you
like,
feel
I hear
comfortable
that girls
answering
like-
that question due to the reason that you know that person, or this could be somebody that's potential. You know what
My
I mean?
question back to them, being the person that I am, is what makes you think I suck dick just because I have a tongue ring? I wouldn't even straight out answer the question.
Right.
I would want to understand why you connect sucking dick with me having a tongue ring.
Like, is that something that you would have asked me anyways, or are you asking me that because I have the tongue ring? Is that like that idea?
Well, it could be that, and then say if you answered honestly, whether you do or you don't. I mean, then it could probably lead into the communication of what he may like, or how he may like it. If you use the ball or the ring on top of his shaft, or just something to that effect.
Right.
I mean, does communication play a part in the different assumptions, stereotypes, whatever you want to say, as far as how people perceive, certain features or certain actions that they do?
I think that depends on the relationship. Period. I don't know about a just random, not random, but if I'm having that conversation just with somebody
Mm-hmm.
versus a conversation with somebody that I'm in a relationship with or a potential relationship, and depending on
Because it's kind of
The-
like
the
the question of
conversation.
like, how people say what that mouth do. It's kind of like that.
Nigga. First of all,
talk about your grandma. How about that?
hello.
And that's on my good day.
I can't stand that. That's the
What, that
dumbest question.
What that mouth do?
Once again, I bite shit. How about that? That's,
Hello.
yeah.
Well,
That's-
it's kind of like with the gray sweatpants. We think, okay, he got a nice print, but then it's like, is it functional? You know what I'm saying? Because not all big dicks know how to fuck.
Facts. Ooh, facts, Lord. Some men
All
are
they
just
all
a
they do is
waste
just fill
of a
the space.
penis.
They don't do anything. They're
Yeah,
not,
waste of space.
Y'all should see how easily. Because I've seen well I've had conversations with females that they said the little one, certain sizes, I ain't gonna say little, but certain sizes, not no mendingos, they were very satisfied with that. So again, communication.
Yeah, that goes back to
Yeah.
communication
I
and the
mean-
act itself.
Yeah.
It's I don't think that doesn't indicate having, if you're like, especially with guys who are like I got this anaconda, okay, and what do you do with it? You walk around holding it. That's all you do with it. That's all you're good with it for. Like, you can give it to somebody else. It wouldn't matter.
I
So
think
it depends on the relationship and the intimacy.
yes.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I agree with that. And it's kind of hard to clearly define a lot of these things because again, it depends on the people involved, what they like, their preferences and all that stuff. But I will say like sex talk, like that type of sex talk, like a big dick solves all your life problems and all of that. Like that stupid stuff to me is like a cover up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like women throwing sex at you or men throwing sex at you. Like that's a cover up. Like there's more to me than just sex. You can get that anywhere. Like bring me
Right.
something I can't get anywhere.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's
so,
like
but people
um,
like to bring sex first because people put so much emphasis on sex. People put so much emphasis on sex.
Because it's somewhat territorial in a way, depending on the couple or the people or the situation thereof.
Territorial.
Yeah.
So everybody you have sex
No.
with, you own.
No, like when I say territorial, the meaning that
You
especially
make
Make it make sense. You sound like it's the dog that goes and pees on stuff to mark
But
his
she already
territory.
said they say men are dogs.
The
I
rough
mean, not
man-
saying all men. I'm just saying, but that's pretty much where the concept comes from.
Didn't I
because
just say if you have sex with the person you own them. That's
I
like marking
believe
your
now that
territory,
she
right?
did say that to that guy that said she was rough. Like, you gonna be my boyfriend.
No.
You see that now?
I
Yeah.
did say that.
Yeah.
I did-
You just, you just confirmed it. It's
Well, I
She
mean,
be
not
punking
so
people
much
like,
that
"You
they
gonna
own them,
eat
but
your
it's kind of like,
cornbread."
it's like, once they made their
Debo.
mark on that female and vice versa or whatever, conversely, it's like, some people feel like, especially if it's good or whatever, yeah, they probably don't want nobody, or just knowing the fact that they're out there, providing and giving the same service
Who
to
don't
somebody
wanna-
else. Huh?
Who don't want nobody? You said once you give it to them, they feel like they
You
not
know,
gonna want
especially
nobody else.
if you're into that person and it's good and all that other stuff, the feeling or the knowing that the person is giving the same service
Mhm.
that they're giving you, like it's back to the woo woo and what you call
Okay,
it.
so both of
woo-woo
y'all,
zoos.
both of y'all are pleasing each other, and you're both satisfied.
Yeah, and then just knowing that okay, they give you that oh my gosh moment, and then it's kind of like, okay, who else is he doing that to, or who else is she doing that to? People do think that. I don't care
They
what
do think
anybody
that.
says.
They do
They do think that. That's
They
the
do
reason that
think that.
that's why I say it's kind of like territorial. Not so much of like they own them, but they just don't. They
You
think
don't
that
want
and they don't want
having that with somebody else.
right.
Now, I have a
Yeah, but
question.
that's why y'all need to see. This is why communication is so important.
When what you were saying before, I have a question. So
Go ahead.
it's no, I'm asking because the same idea, like what you were saying, is like, does someone
If I
come
look
to?
at his mind, yeah,
if I look at his mind.
right.
But you
and there
know
are people
what?
that think
But
that.
you have certain people that like they'll have sex with you and they don't give a care. They could give two shits what you do.
Right.
But once they do oral or even some people, if they kiss you during sex, like it means something completely
different level of
It's a
intimacy.
different
Yeah.
level.
Or eat the groceries.
There's levels to this. You know what I'm saying? So
My question.
That's that's
Eating
getting
groceries,
all in the bag.
eating
That is becoming
Ooh,
a
I can't wait to
major
talk
thing.
about this next week.
That is becoming a major thing.
One question is like, and we had that in erotic expression, so you guys could go on to that page and comment. But it's like, sometimes, do you really want that sex, or do you want that physical validation that you're either sexually desirable to someone, or that kind of replaces that if there's any emotional rejection or emotionally not compatible, like unloved? Like, some people use sex for feeling love, not necessarily making love, but they use sex as a validation of themselves.
I get it.
You go, like on the idea of like making love versus just fucking or having sex. Like some people, I'm trying to behave, y'all, because anybody who knows me knows
No,
I
you
say
ain't been
all the
behaving this
words.
whole damn show,
But
so
yeah.
don't be acting all
Thank
innocent
you.
right
I'm
now.
not you.
Whatever.
Why is she
Just
getting
say the
stuck?
shit.
Why she getting stuck all of a sudden?
I know, right?
Because
Your
I'm trying
ass
to
been-
behave. It's hard, y'all. Because
No,
I say
you said
all
a
the words.
whole, message in one breath. So why you holding back now? Come on. Say what you got to say, Pam.
Well,
Say
I'm just
what you
saying,
think.
like, are there people who really, like, are you having sex because you really want the sex? Or some people, are you having the sex to feel loved? It's like, for some people, it's important because it's a level of intimacy. But I think there's some people out there that, like you were saying, when you have sex with somebody, not the part of, are they doing it with somebody else? But some women especially, I think, or maybe men too, this is how I feel validated. If
Mhm.
someone's having sex with me, even if they don't love me or it's not intimate, it's not making love, but we're performing this act,
So
and
I'm
I'm performing
desirable.
that act to feel right. So now I feel desirable. Now
Mhm.
maybe he doesn't love me, but he desires me. It's like, so are you having the sex for validation of oneself?
Some possibly quite sure. I'm quite sure they are. Someone somewhere is doing that.
Probably a lot of people that's doing that.
Absolutely.
mean-
They need to communicate.
Maybe they don't know how to,
That's
Yeah.
the reason. How do you let them know?
you know? Maybe they don't know how to. And then for some, that leads into something totally, totally deeper than what we're discussing today. But that leads into self-love.
Right.
Work on
Right.
yourself. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
And that's funny you said because somebody said because a lot of men are insecure.
Absolutely.
And women, I think some women, especially young ladies, when they're just getting to that point that they're having sex and they have a guy or a man that's paying attention to them, sometimes they have daddy issues and they're not
Or
they're
mama
not
issues.
necessarily in love. It's just that I'm sleeping with all these people or because they desire me sexually.
Mhm.
So that's my self-validation. I think that there are a lot of young women, and it's unfortunate, but I think that that's where that's where the gist of some relationships are for some people. It's
Mhm.
not I don't I use the term relationship loosely, but at that point, it's not even like friends with benefits. It's kind of a validate me. I'll have sex with you so I feel validated, so I feel desired.
Mhm.
Yeah,
But-
that
yeah,
is about
that-
self-love. But
kind of.
or if they
I
need to
s- you
learn
know, I
how
got
to
something in my head.
self-love. I'm scared. I get scared.
Why do y'all
At
get scared?
first,
every
look,
time I
at
have
first,
something in my
this one
head?
scares me,
At
y'all.
first,
Why?
I was about to ask her, like, oh, okay, what are your thoughts? But then she looked at me and was like, mm-hmm. And I was like, never mind, Eric. Don't
wanna know.
ask. Don't ask.
When we get that little dance,
Don't
And
ask.
we get
the
the
dance,
giggle.
the movement,
Yeah,
and all that other
it's
stuff. No,
over.
I didn't
It's
provide that
over.
today. Maybe next week. You know what I'm saying? You'll see a little motion in those.
You was just doing it.
Well, no, that was a little. No, that was just a little sample. No, next week.
Oh, she throwing out samples,
Oh,
y'all.
right. Say, bing,
Tester.
okay. Right.
Throwing out samples.
So how do you discuss that in
I know,
communication?
right?
Like when you get to the point of like like you were saying, you're having these conversations about sexual intimacy and satisfaction when you get to like, I think some men don't, I don't want to say some men, but what about sensuality?
To the
Knowing
level
what
of
that is and discussing that and discussing the importance of
I
foreplay,
think
if it's
that's
important
I
to you or
think
not.
that's a really important conversation to have because sensuality to me is important. It is very
Yeah,
important.
I agree.
I don't want every time you hug me to know that we about to have sex right after
Right.
that. I don't
Right.
want every time you rub my arm or touch my back or you know what I mean? I don't want that to be sex right after that.
Right.
Like it should be cuddling and we can talk or whatever
Yeah.
it is.
very intimate.
And just go to
Yeah.
sleep. And it's
Yeah.
And
not.
we can go to
go to
sleep
sleep,
holding
right.
each other or
So it's
whatever the
different
case.
levels of intimacy that you're talking about.
Absolutely.
Okay. No, and I get that because I like to be held to and just cuddle and touch and all that stuff. But if you get that certain spot in the back of my neck, bud,
I'm scared again. I'm scared.
I'm just saying.
You're getting scared over here.
Don't be scared, but I'm saying, but that's all a part of
Right, right.
sensuality.
It
though.
is a
But
part
A
of
lot of
it.
times it
difference.
doesn't necessarily have to lead to sex,
It
but
does not.
sometimes, that person might just hit that spot and you just like, oh, you know what? fuck
But
it.
this
Now,
is
what's
Yeah,
the
it's
you
just,
difference?
could, you
I
could,
get
but
it.
at the same time, when you're learning a person, right?
Mm-hmm.
A deeper level of intimacy, and you're
Right.
learning them. You
Right.
know how people take little things, like even in foreplay, when you take the feather and you go, you're checking
Not
to
the feather.
see how their body
minute.
reacts to different things, right? So if you know your person, you know certain little areas to stay
That
away
they'll
from.
react
Right.
to or that they'll.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if
Absolutely.
you're honestly just wanting to have an intimate, sensual, loving, close bonding moment, you will stay away from those certain little areas because you know where it's going to lead
Right.
and you don't
Right.
you're not necessarily trying to do that.
Mhm.
You just want to have a beautiful moment.
Now, where's the line? Not in a bad way, like crossing a line, but what's the line? Because some people, I don't think, to me, sensuality or being sensual and foreplay are two different things. But I think for some men, it's one and the same. And like you said, I don't want the touch on my back or touch on my neck to lead to sex.
Foreplay leads to sex.
It does. That's what I'm saying. But some people, I think some people don't know or see a difference in being sensual with your partner and foreplay with your partner. So, of course, foreplay, child, leads
Come
to
on.
sex. But sensuality, that's a whole a different dynamic of your relationship. Because I think sensuality
Absolutely.
is very, very important.
Absolutely. Sensuality can make your partner orgasm without
Yeah.
Right.
That's
Absolutely.
Yes,
penetration, without oral.
Scared
Yes.
again.
Don't be scared.
Honey, look
I can
here.
have memories, okay? Damn it.
You're good.
I'm a sexual and sensual and fun person my damn self. So shit, if I want to have
That's
if I have a
like-
flashback, then shit, let me have a fucking flashback.
You're good. You're good. Okay. I can be scared over here though. If you can flash, I can be scared. But that's
But don't
like
be scared.
the,
Don't be
Let her
scared.
have her damn flashback,
Okay, I'm
okay?
letting her. I'm
Because
letting her.
I'm just doing it in agreement with you, dang it. You know what
Okay.
I'm saying? We all done
But
had
there's
that
a-
moments. We got
sensual
grown
game.
women's and we all
And
got
back to
children.
you, the pampered one.
There's
Lord,
like when you
Jesus.
have like the idea you were saying with sensuality and the feather. There's a game
What do you
that
do
you
with the
can play. Oh, girl! But there's a game called Do You Trust Me? And that's that same idea. Have you heard of it?
Uh-huh.
So that's the same idea of that's sensual, and it's kind of, you can do both. It can lead to foreplay, but it's the idea you take a tray and you of course put it together before the end of your night. But you have different things on that tray, like you have a feather or you have whipped cream. You can have something that's spicy, something that's sweet, whatever, and you blindfold your partner. If he's into hand ties
That's
or
the woo-hoo.
handcuffs or whatever, girl, that's the woo and the who.
Yes.
Okay. So with that being said, you can blindfold your partner, or like they have the breakaway straps or handcuff, whatever. But it's the idea of him submitting himself to you, and it's really
Exactly. It's
sensual with men because
vulnerability.
that vulnerability.
Yes.
And you've got this man that deals with bullshit all day at work, and
Mhm.
you come home, you get like, I got this,
Mhm.
wash his back when he takes a shower and all that, and then you go to that and you lead into it. It's like when you're in your relationship, it's like, do you trust me, and how much do you trust me? Let me blindfold you. Do you still trust me? Let me handcuff you. Let me strap you
Yeah.
down. Do you still trust me? let me
say
feed you
tie
something.
you down. Don't say
Mhm.
strap
And
you
so
down.
then when you, well, strap them, tie them, handcuff them, I got it all. And the
There's
paddle
levels
what?
to this.
Okay, that part.
There's
Okay,
levels to
that
this.
part.
Right,
And you don't know about the
right.
feather. You sit over there and had a flashback. It's grown people talking over
No,
here.
I know
You
about
don't-
the fact. I want you to tell them about
Wait a
the
minute.
feather. You know, you can
Okay.
tickle some parts.
Right.
You
so
know what I'm
that's the thing.
saying?
But as you, the idea of that, and it's very sensual, is the idea of, do you trust me and how much do you trust me? And it's really funny. I've done it, and I've done things like you have something like whipped cream, but put a little tiny bit of cayenne pepper in it. So they have this sweet. No, it's really sensual because he's blindfolded. So all of his senses, his hands are tied. He's blindfolded.
Mhm.
You may have a candle burning, and then they have like flavored waxes. You can,
Of
it
course.
depends on what he's into, but
Mhm.
you can pour hot wax on him. Not like you fucked up, I'm pouring hot wax on you, but they do
Right.
have intimacy waxes and foreplay waxes and things like that. They have edible candles that you can pour the wax on them and eat it off. So you do things like that, and you go with your partner, and each time you do the next thing, you're like, do you trust me? And you really break them down in such a sensual way because they're not expecting it. And like what I was saying about the whipped cream, though, you have whipped cream with a tiny bit of cayenne pepper, so it's very sweet, it's very cold, and it's creamy in their mouth, and then they get a hint of heat on the back
On the back.
of that palate a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
so
neck or
yeah,
in other spots.
in their throat, the
Uh-huh.
heat, because you put a little cayenne pepper, just a pinch. I'm not saying burn his ass where he's like, untie me, give me something.
no,
Not like that.
never that.
But yeah, just a little bit. And so you can have something, I don't know, shot of Hennessy, Kool-Aid, whatever. Let them drink something. I use a dropper. Put your tongue out because it's just a drop, and then you have to figure out what that flavor is. So there's different places you can go with that, and it can be just a sensual experience, or it can lead to foreplay. But it's called Do You Trust Me? And I think I recommend
I say
that.
find out
It
their
just really
food
gets to know.
allergies first before you try all of
Please
this
do.
stuff.
This is why.
Like I said,
This is why communication is important.
I didn't know the peanuts was gonna swell up your
Look,
throat.
look,
Yeah.
we are not trying to have you send your partner into the hospital, to the emergency room, ambulance, rush into the house, the Airbnb, the hotel.
You know what I noticed? Just about every show, when I say something, we have a disclosure. I had one last week about the barbecue.
What we say about the barbecue?
When I said I'm not getting married a third time, I'm not getting divorced a 2nd time.
The,
So I was like, don't eat the meat. And
the
you guys were like,
vegetarian
disclosure.
barbecue.
Yeah, just eat the sides if
Just
he's
eat
not
the
there.
sides,
That's all I'm
right,
saying.
right.
But yeah,
definitely
that's-
find out their food allergies. Yes, we ain't trying to
It's
send
not
nobody.
somebody new. I mean, you can use things that you know you've eaten or fed them before.
But what if it
You
is
know what?
somebody
You
new?
can possibly.
What if it
yeah,
is
but you still
somebody
want to have
new?
that conversation.
Yeah, definitely,
You still
definitely.
wanna have
but
that
then you
conversation.
use things like, Erica was saying, what's like that. There's the tiny electrode wheel, very very light stimulation. I mean, you can have something. You can use a taser if you want to. It just depends on what he's into.
Right.
But I recommend it after food allergy.
Right. I'm definitely gonna try it one day.
Yeah, it's
or
fun.
Very
Yes.
soon or
Yeah.
something.
But please, y'all, again, we are talking about communication. We talk about sex communication, but we're talking about communication. But you want to ask those questions. You want to definitely ask those questions.
Are you
don't
allergic to
you don't want
peanuts?
to blindfold
Right.
somebody that's like claustrophobic or something, or has
Right.
anxiety attacks and stuff like
Right.
that. Like you want to have, you know,
Right.
safe sex. And I don't mean necessarily, I'm not saying don't use condoms, but I'm talking
Right.
about beyond the condom. You know,
Right.
you want to have safe sex and not put your partner in a cardiac arrest or anything like.
Right, because you don't want them
We don't want no
hyperventilating
problem.
and, you know,
We don't want to see you on the news. You know what I mean? What a problem.
Whatever.
Please no.
Whatever. Get an EpiPen.
But you guys,
Or you be in a situation like in The
get
Sweetest
an
Thing.
EpiPen.
Have y'all seen that movie, The
Uh-uh.
Sweetest Thing?
Yeah, in case they react, you can stick
Yeah.
them with the EpiPen and get yours, I guess, and then take them to the ER. I don't know.
Honey.
But
Well, it is that time.
yes, I
It
know,
is that
right?
time. It is that time.
It's been fun.
We have
Now
talked
it's
a
time
little
to
bit
say
about some
goodbye.
foreplay and some sex communication and fun and games. A lot of things that you guys can incorporate to make not even just your Valentine's Day, since 'tis the season, but to just make your sex life, your intimacy, your relationship with your partner
Right.
a lot more intimate, a lot more
Fun.
fun
Yeah.
And
and
interesting.
exciting. and take it
Yes.
to deeper levels of intimacy and
Yes.
bonding and connection, because that's
Yeah.
what it's about. It's about connection.
Having conversations.
Yes.
Pinch
So,
their booty a couple of times.
you know what I'm saying? Smack them on the ass.
You're
No.
right. Yes. Like with your
You better
fine
make sure you
ass.
check his
Right.
reflexes.
Right.
Might get
Be
right.
like, "Ooh, girl, we had a time last night, child. Let me
Be like,
tell
girl,
you.
what happened to you? But again, we talked about a lot of things that can help make you and your partner's experience with each other a lot more intimate, a lot more better,
Mhm.
a
Fun.
lot more connected.
Yes.
Make sure you tune in next week, because
Please
we
do.
are doing Erotic Expressions Part 2.
That
It's gonna
part.
continue.
We
It's
might have some
gonna
toys on here. I
continue.
hope so.
You know what I'm saying? We might be bringing some
might
things.
bring
We
some
might be
things.
bringing some things.
Some extra trinkets.
Giving you a little visual effects. So make sure you stay tuned next Saturday. Why does it feel like I got super loud?
I know, right? See you next Saturday,
Stay
y'all.
tuned next Saturday. Erotic
Plan for your,
Expressions
Valentine's
Part
weekend.
2 right here on Vegas Hype Media with Hey Love Hello.
See y'all.
Bye.
Yeah.